Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Compassion. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the last session. Now we're on to the next. I'm with some of my favorite people. I'm excited about these conversations that we're going to have. We're going to go ahead and kick this off with an introduction because this is the first of many conversations between Black men and talking about sex amongst men. And I can't tell you, I've been just dreaming about this moment. We're trying to do a lot of great things to challenge social issues and social norms. And this is our own way of taking hold of that. And so, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce some of my guests. And I'm going to start off with Lorine. Lorine, why don't you go ahead and kick it to us? Give us your IGs, give us your handles, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here.
Yeah, so as Greg said, my name is Laron. That's Laron Lewis. And you can follow me on Instagram at It's Your Boy. That's ITSYABOY_LL. And that's about the only platform I'm really on and really social on. But again, Laron Lewis, I am in Atlanta, Georgia. And I joined this discussion to really have a true discussion with my friend and brother Greg when it comes to men and just our sexual uh, I guess, being when it comes to just having sex, what it means to pleasure ourselves, what it means to find pleasure in other things outside of sex, actual physical sex. And so, as a gay man, I feel like I have a lot to contribute to this conversation and really learn from my straight brother, Greg. And I'm excited to also see what he can learn from me as well. So, I'm happy to be here and thank you for having me, Greg.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Thank you for being here. Next up, we're going to go to John. John, tell us why you're here. Give us your handles. Holla at us. What's going on?
Well, I can talk to you. All right. So John, John Hitson here. I go by JV. My social media handles on IG, TikTok. I'll keep you laughing. I definitely keep you entertained. But my handle is Juicy J Presents, JUICY, Presents, PRESENTS. I'm really just here to be, similar to my brother Laron. As a gay man, honestly, I don't think I've ever had a sexual conversation with straight men before. I think most of my dialogue has always been limited to those who I'm familiar with, so other gay men. So I'm interested to see the things that we have in common, the things that we may share, the things that may be different, and honestly, just to even find a comfortability just having dialogue with other brothers, no matter what your sexuality is. So I appreciate you for this.
No problem, man. Blessings and thank you for coming. And last but not least, we're going to go ahead and welcome Toy Guy to the stage. What's going on, brother? Give us your handles. Why are you here?
Yo, what's going on, Greg? What's up, everybody? So I'm Carl. And I'm the toy guy. I'm the owner of Platinum Treasures Adult Novelties and Lingerie, out of Baltimore, Maryland. My handles on IG is PT underscore treasures with the S. So that's PT underscore TREASURES. You can also find me on Facebook under Toy Guy. Just send a friend request to the page. And why I'm here, to be honest with you, is Greg invited me. Definitely just want to have a dope conversation about, about just sex toys, men pleasure, and then also just to learn from everybody, and then also to give my, information, or I should say my expertise in the area, and just really just have a dope conversation between heterosexual men and gay men, and we can just see where it goes from there. So I'm definitely excited. I think that this is much needed, and I'm ready to rock out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So why don't we just get right into it, man? Why is it important for there's the sexual spectrum consists of a lot of different genders,
Right,
people, communities,
right.
so on and so forth. But right here tonight, we have two gay men, two straight men. Why is this conversation important, y'all?
I'll kick it off.
Sure.
I think it just leading from what JV mentioned. I think oftentimes when we think about sexuality or we think about sex, again, we find those people that we connect with and have a comfort in speaking with, right? And so we may not always feel as comfortable as going to speak with some of our straight male friends about what we do or what happens in the bedroom. They may seem, uninterested, or it may come off as, for a lack of a better term, gross.
Yep.
But really, just how do we create that space and dialogue
Absolutely.
with our brothers across the sexual spectrum to really understand from one another, what it really means from a pleasure standpoint. We all have the same pleasure zone, right? And so
That's right.
that G spot is in the same spot for each one of us. And so how do we respond to that? I think is going to be very important. But listening to our straight brothers, um, and their take on it, I think it's oftentimes one tracked. It's gay when you play with the G spot. It's not a manly thing when you play with the G spot. And so not only trying to eradicate that stigma of that, but I'm just really trying to come to an understanding of guys, we have the same thing, we just go about it in a different way. So how can we really have a true conversation with one another and learn from it?
Absolutely. And why is it that when somebody comes with something other than vanilla, it's associated with gay? That it's just sex, it's pleasure.
Right.
Why does society have the norm of why are we normalizing and demonizing people in the gay community? And are people in the gay community having better sex than people that are straight since we're having outside of vanilla sex? Is that what's going on? Because if so, then I guess I have to align myself with gay then, right? So I'm not gonna be vanilla, man. It's just that's just the reality of it.
I
Just
wonder.
oh,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Carl.
No,
No,
you
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Carl. I wonder if that's culturally though. Like,
Sure.
I wonder if all cultures experience that same type of um, when it comes to masculinity. I think that's what it really is. I think sometimes within this culture, I'm not even going to say black culture, maybe hip hop culture, whatever it may be at this point.
Yeah.
But I think within the culture that we all kind of operate in, I think there's a certain expectation when it comes to men in that culture, how they carry themselves, how they operate, and then I think that determines your masculinity. As long as you're masculine, then you're good. You're a great man. You're deemed good in society's eyes. And when you bring sex toys into it and you start to think about how to make a man happy, I think that's where it gets very confusing. And I think most men who may listen to this are going to be very confused because they're going to see a straight man and a gay man. And for instance, myself, I don't really use sex toys. So I'm more, I probably relate more with the straight guys when it comes to, I don't really know about all that. Versus
Yeah.
on the other side, you may be straight and you can relate a whole lot more with using sex toys. And I think they're going to be completely confused because society and culture has not told us that that's okay. But I think other cultures, that level of toxic masculinity, or you have to operate a certain way to be considered a man, doesn't really fully exist, or it's not something that's forced or looked at or anything like that. I mean, I think some men are allowed to be feminine and have plenty of women. If you see a feminine man, black man especially, the first thing you're gonna think is that he's gay. So I think there's struggles because of that.
Right. No, I agree with everything that you guys are saying. And like just honestly, just speaking within our culture, so to speak, is it's just like we don't know how to label things. So we always, give it the negative connotation, right? Everything is gay. So, like even if you cuddle with your girl, just because you ain't fucking pounding her back out, you know what I'm saying, beating the pussy up, yo, my
Yeah.
nigga, you gay. You know what I'm saying? So, like at the end of the day, we just have to really just create a space to be like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to have pleasure. It's okay to do a lot of different things that other men before us never had a chance of doing. And and it's okay. Like we need to normalize this. Something as simple as just having a conversation, like we just said, between two heterosexual men and two gay men, right? If we were in the presence of one another, I don't know about y'all, but where I'm from, like we'd probably be beefing right now. As soon as one of y'all say I'm gay, it'd be, oh hell no, get away from me. You know what I mean? All that type of stuff. Shouldn't be like that, right? We're all adults, we're all
Absolutely.
men. We pretty much dealing with the same BS, right? So,
Right.
at the end of the day, we should be able to look at one another, understand where we're coming from. You may not necessarily agree. That's totally fine. But you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, don't yuck another person's yum.
Absolutely. And where do y'all feel like we can start having spaces for these conversations? Because I can tell well, we already know straight men are not going to be like, this is my gay homeboy. I'm not going to ask him about my failures in the bed and how I can be considered successful in the bed with my woman. How
Right.
where can we go? Where can we label or locate places where we can just have an honest conversation about pleasure and sex? Because we all have dicks. We all have the G spot, as already stated. Why aren't we having that conversations? But more so than that, what do y'all feel like we can start having those conversations?
Where do you think? Where does most men have conversations at?
The
Barbershop.
Barbershop.
The barbershop. The
Mhm.
barbershop. And so there, I think you oftentimes growing up, you heard all kind of conversation in the barbershops, right? And so you learn some shit about women, you learn some shit about your next door neighbor, you learn something in the barbershop while you were sitting there waiting to get your hair cut. And I think, man, we take care of ourselves. We self-care from an aspect of going to the barbershop, getting a clean lineup, things of that nature as well. And then oftentimes conversations are sparked between oftentimes the greater population in the barbershop, or sometimes just one-on-one with you and your barber. And I think living in Atlanta, I've experienced a lot of different conversations and heard a lot of different conversations in the barbershops. And I go to a barbershop here where a lot of the clientele are gay men, right? But then the owners and everyone else are straight men, but they know their clientele, they respect them. They don't do things in the barbershop that will be out of the way or disrespectful to those clients as well. They may joke, and it's a joke, but it's just, we joke and things of that nature, and we crack on each other. But I think the conversation for Black men may start there. May not be considered a safe space in the beginning, but I think the conversations can evolve from that arena. There's a song out right now by Florida State graduate Michael Kilgore called "The Man in the Barbershop," and he was in the barbershop and he looked across and he saw this guy who he thought was just a great man, and he really wanted to really get to understand and know this person, this man in the barbershop. So when you listen to that song, it really talks about that whole barbershop vibe of where you may, one, go to have those conversations, or two, even as someone may find your love there. But I think the barbershop for me is where I hear most conversations around sex and women and pussy and dick and fucking this and having hoes. I mean, it's the truth. I hear it all the time.
It is the truth. It is the truth.
You laugh. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
You ain't got no hoes. At one point growing up, you have to like try to fake it and fit in. Right?
No. Let me tell you. It's funny enough, right? So my story. So I'm bald, as you can see now.
Okay, part of the bald family. I see you.
When I cut my hair off, bro, like it was the best thing. And people ask like, "Oh, why'd you cut it off?" And I tell them all this fake shit. The real reason was because I didn't have to go to the barbershop anymore. I can cut my own hair. I can do my own beard now. And for me, that as a young gay Black man, that was probably the most relieving thing in the whole wide world, because I had to sit around and be forced to have these dumbass, conversations about pussy and this. And to be honest with you, it'd have been different if it was like a real conversation about real sexual pleasure and like the real shit that men go through and being honest with each other. But really, it's just blowing smoke up everybody's ass, and everybody act like they slinging the biggest dicks in the world, and so it's like, and everybody just blowing smoke up everybody's ass. So I was tired of that toxic area. Right. But to Laron's point, I can see how that same arena could be used for good if those same men, all it takes is one man to be vulnerable. All it took was one man to put this podcast together and this conversation together. So all it takes is one person in the barbershop to change the tone, to push against the norm, and then things start to change. But I think the barbershop be a good setting.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, and I'm with you guys. I think the barbershop as well. However, I'm gonna come from it to it from a different perspective, right? So, like I told you guys before, like I own an adult novelties business. So most of my clientele are women, right? I would say about 98% are women, 2% are men. And my thing would be is that it kind of actually probably, before we get to the barbershop, I would say, let's start with the ladies, right? Because like the ladies tend to, like spout some of the same BS that the guys are doing, right? Absolutely. Which is, oh no, if my man own a sex toy, that nigga gay, he better not stick nothing up his ass, this and the third. The only pleasure he need to give is the pleasure to me, this, that, and the third, all that type stuff, right? I hear it all the time. What I truly believe is, and Greg and I have had this conversation on numerous occasions, is that if we can start educating women to be like, hey, you guys have your safe space, right? Allow men to be vulnerable, and then also to be and have a safe space in your home or when y'all out, this and the third. And not everything is fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, like it's gay. Slowly or surely what will happen is that guys will tend to come around. Because a lot of the shit that we do is to look good, or at least for the heterosexual guys, is to, look good, but it's mostly to get pussy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Simply put, everything we do, from dressing nice, all the money we want to make, rapping, buying nice cars, jewelry, is all to try to get pussy. And at the end of the day is if ladies can help create that safe space and allow guys to be vulnerable, then slowly but surely when they get vulnerable around women, then ultimately it'll lead to, you know what I'm saying, having a conversation with their homeboys or the barbershop and then go from there. But truth be told, it also takes men like us to actually have a platform like this or a Facebook group where there's, not, any toxic masculinity, but just guys just being vulnerable and just talking. But I also think like with a lot of guys, they're not educated sexually. So, and because they're not educated sexually, what they're doing is they're masking it by saying, oh, my nigga, that's gay. That's gay. It's
Mm.
because you don't know. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's just what it is. And like what JV said, like you go to a barbershop, all the guys are just blowing smoke up everybody's ass. Like for real, everybody trying to be cool, everybody want to be Future, everybody want to be Jay-Z, right?
Right.
And it's just like, and that's a problem. And I think a lot of us, we just need to learn how to keep it 100. And we've gotten so far away from keeping it 100. We not even real with ourselves. So I truly just believe it's like a three-pronged approach. Like, you can have that conversation in a barbershop. You can have that conversation in a platform like what we're on right now. Then you also have that conversation or that safe space around women, whether it's your female friends, your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, your, what I mean, your shorty on the side, whatever the case may be, and then go from there. And I just think if ladies start to have a better understanding, then guys can tend to open up more. Then they tend to have more conversations with their male friends, and then they'll quickly realize, oh yo, I'm not the only one that feels like this, and stuff like that. And then it'll just go from there.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna throw this at you too. And it's funny because from the gay side, women, your wives, your girlfriends, and other stuff, they come talk to us about things they may not say to you, and or in those
Get them
same
right,
women,
fam. Damn.
like I said, or women in general, like who when they're around their girlfriends, they say, "Oh, I want my man to be tough. I want this. I want that." But then know a guy, nigga like me, gay, and still holler at me. Like just and so it's like they act like I think it's more of, I don't know if it's women, like just a women thing. I think it's more of the fact that within genders we blow smoke up each other's ass. So instead of
Right.
everybody just being vulnerable with each other and just being realistic about what they really do behind closed doors, they lie about it.
Yeah.
And because they're trying to save face to everybody, because at the end of the day, women know, women are comfortable. Women do and put up with a whole lot more stuff behind closed doors than they'll ever admit
Right.
in public.
And then it's a lot, I'll be honest with you guys, is like keep it real. Women, just like with men, like, they want to be able to maintain a certain, like like a certain type of persona. So what they don't want to hear is just like, oh, such and such boyfriend is gay or bisexual, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, they may not care, or they may care, but they may be able to tolerate it, but it's what does everybody else think?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And when we can get past that, then we're good. Because one of the things that I absolutely hate is like women will say stuff like, like I'm open-minded and I got gay homeboys, this, that, and the third, and I'm cool with it. Then get around their homegirls and be like, this nigga gay as shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Third, it's
right.
like, ew, like, but you just wasn't saying that shit like an hour ago when you was hanging around them. Like, that was your partner, that was your round. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but now you get around your homegirls and you singing a totally different tune. So I've seen a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that either. So yeah, man, like I just really think like what you said, like we all just need to stop blowing smoke up each other's ass. You like what you like, you know what I'm saying? As long as you play safe, you constantly get tested and you communicate effectively. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody should be able to enjoy their form of pleasure, period.
Yeah.
Or at
You know
least
what I'm saying?
close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at
Yeah.
least close to it,
Yeah.
period.
I
It's
And I
want.
baby steps
put
because
ourselves in a box,
guys
man.
can get their booty ate now. Because it's
Yeah.
I think that's a little more prevalent. I think baby steps.
And
But
now
but
it used to be you can't do that, but now you can do it. But if you do it in a missionary position, then you're gay.
right.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is,
you can't bend
Yeah,
over.
with your legs up.
yeah, you can't have your legs up or you out
Yeah.
of there. Like what?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
the fuck?
my point exactly. It's just like, yo, man, it's just like I said before, like I don't know about y'all. I just turned 40. It's like I just get tired of the BS, man.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be able to enjoy pleasure, have fun, have multiple orgasms, whatever. Try what I want to try whenever I want to try it. You know what I'm saying? Just go from there. Like I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can't have a threesome because of this. You know what I'm saying? Or the Bible says this. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I know tons of people that believe in the Bible and doing all types of wild shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, cut it out. Like everybody is doing something and everybody's being secretive. You might as well just say, yo, this is what I'm into, find your tribe and then rock out.
Do y'all watch Grownish?
Yeah.
I've seen a few episodes, yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen the latest season, but Chloe, I forgot her.
Yes.
Yeah, so
The
you know where
Oh
I'm
yeah,
getting
the
at.
yeah.
guy, the
I know what you're
dresser.
gonna talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
so, so
What
talk to the
happened?
audience about what's going on, y'all. Like this is some ridiculous shit. Um,
So so one of the twins that's on the show. She's a former track runner. She met this guy who was on the track team, was attracted to him. But one day he showed up at an event and he had a dress on. And she knew that he was bisexual, but she was kind of taken back by the dress. He continued to hit on her. They end up actually messing around multiple times. But it was on the low. She, kind of, they fell for each other, but it was kind of, in the sheets, not really in the streets kind of thing.
Okay.
And then when the opportunity presented itself for them to actually go to an event together, she was only willing to go if he decided not to wear a dress. And he ended up showing up to the event in a dress, and then she could not support him, so they went their separate ways. But I assume that's what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely. How
Okay.
society and insecurities can play out in a relationship that is giving you all that you need. Everybody's different and we all have our quirks, but that's not really a quirk at all. But everybody
Right.
has weird sides, but we don't even look at the weird shit. We look at the stuff society tells us we can't look at and have, and that plays out and it rears its ugly head. And now you can't have a person that tearing that pussy up or tearing that whatever it is up, and you're just ruining your chance at a good relationship. And
Here's my thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Go
doing
ahead.
that a
no,
lot.
you good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I don't know if y'all guys think about this, but I think about this all the time. Like, you know how like when society says like this is some weird shit, you're not supposed to do it. But do anybody sit back and think that like what society deems to be the correct way or the cool thing as quite possibly being weird? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
yeah, like for example, like go get married and stay married for 35 years and only deal with just this one particular person. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Ridiculous.
And right. And and people who do this shit, and then in a lot of marriages, they be, like they be complaining, and it's just like, oh my God, my wife is the absolute worst, or whatever the case may be. So it's just like, why are you doing it? Like, you know what I'm saying? But then if a person over here is polyamorous, oh my God, that's weird. I'd never do that. But you'll be 35 years over here with one person and you don't even have sex on a regular basis.
That's weird.
And you that's weird. Like and you tolerate that. Like you see what I'm saying?
Just to
You
make
know,
somebody happy.
right. Or, like my thing is like, like not, I know we're talking about sex, but something as far as like, yo, you go work a job and you stay there for 40 years and then you retire, as opposed to you going to go start your own business. Like me, I started my own business. People thought I was nuts 11 years ago when I started this, but now everybody thinks it's so cool. And it's just like, sometimes do we just think like society's way of doing things, I sometimes is like, yo, that's just odd to me, so yeah,
And not to
but it's
shame people
really,
not having sex. Sometimes, there are people that just don't want it or that you have a
mm,
understanding or it could be some kind of
yeah,
condition, disease, but we're
yeah,
not shaming those people, but we're talking about people that can have it and choose not to
yeah,
just to make the community happy.
yeah,
Yeah, but I will tell you, like it's crazy how powerful. Maybe it's religion, maybe it's upbringing, maybe it's all that combined. But it's when you are drilled in your mind about what sex is or what sex is supposed to be, and if you think about over the years how sex has changed, and like I think we're in Sodom and Gomorrah now because we got Twitter, we got porn all over the place. Like
mhm,
sex is glorified to a certain extent. Um, like I just feel like it's really hard, I think, for some people to really come out of that shell because you may have 30 years only seen sex as one thing, and then all of a sudden you start interacting with somebody and you realize, wow, sex is something totally more. And then then you start opening doors, but a lot of
right.
people don't have those experiences until 50, 60, if they have those experiences.
Absolutely.
Sometimes
So
they never allow themselves. They've been married since they were 22. The first pussy, the first dick they suck, and they married and they've been
right,
sucking the same dick for
right.
40 years.
Some of the customers that I have are women that are in their 40s and 50s that's never had an orgasm, or like they tried a toy for the first time, and it's like so fucking liberating to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to see them be like, it's like the blinders come off and they're like, "Yo, I had no idea all of this existed." And now they're just out here trying and shit, right? So like I just believe that like truly people just need to just find their pleasure and then just, and just go for it. But to speak to JV's point is that we kind of have to unlearn to relearn. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like,
Absolutely.
because like a lot of times now, man, like the shit that we know, like it's very toxic and it hurts us, period. As far as pleasure and all that stuff. How many men you know think they had an orgasm and they probably never had one? Seriously. Or they only think that sex is related to penis and vagina sex. You know what I'm saying? Like like that's how you base your sexual activity. There's so much more to that. But again, if we unlearn a lot of the stuff that we know and we relearn, then we'll be better off. But a lot of people don't want to do that.
How do you unlearn? I'm asking for a personal.
Well,
I got some shit I need to unlearn.
Well,
no
this.
problem.
Oh, go
I'm
ahead. Go
gonna
ahead.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you what I did. Right, is when I jumped into selling sex toys. Part of me jumped in because I used to be a stripper, right? So I used to be a stripper, and I had a homegirl introduce me into the business. From there, I wanted to learn more and more about the product, so I did. Then I started testing stuff out. Then I started taking training and courses and stuff like that. I just started reading more. I started reading more. I started understanding, and then I started positioning myself around other individuals. Then I started finding events and people that had we had a kind of like a like mind, right? And then I would learn from them and learn from me, and then things that I thought I knew that I didn't know, I will be willing to try, and then just go from there. And it's just like with anything. If you want to learn something or try to unlearn something, you just keep feeding yourself the correct information. And that's exactly what happened to me. Because that's when I realized, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? There is a man like a G spot, but it's called the P spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it acts just like as a woman's G spot, but it's only in the anus and it's in the third. And when you stimulate that, oh my God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something I probably wouldn't have tried 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been like, fuck that. Are you nuts? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But that's what I did.
So I want to take a second. I want to pivot a little bit. I want to take a second. If y'all could gather your questions, man. I want to ask this. This segment is ask a gay guy or a straight guy honest, vulnerable questions. And I think that we're sitting here talking about location. Where can we go to have these conversations? Why are we not having conversations? What if somebody has access to those locations or has access to a straight or a gay guy or somebody, just, completely opposite of who they are sexually, so on and so forth. Um, I want to show people who've tuned in, I want to show them how we can ask each other questions. And so this segment right now is, ask a gay guy vulnerable questions, ask a straight guy vulnerable questions. And so if you can go ahead and get your funny questions, get your straight serious questions out, I want to do that, and then we'll close out for the day. What y'all think, man?
That sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Cool. Who wants to be the first person to step up and test the waters?
Go
I
ahead.
don't mind. I don't mind. Okay, so you were talking about straight men and in the P spot.
Mhm.
So how as a straight man, how do you pleasure yourself in the P spot? Like how does that work
Now you
for
talking about the PC muscle, or you talking about the G spot, the male G spot?
the male G spot?
Okay. So that's
And when you do that, straight man, do you feel gay in doing so?
so I have not stimulated the G spot. That's within the next month. I'm getting my shit together. So I am going to do that. Yes, I am a straight man. I am a straight black man. And I am highly interested and eager to do so. Why? I think we also know that pleasure offers itself up in many different ways, in many different iterations of ourselves. As we get older, the penis might not get as hard or hard at all, right? But we can still have orgasms. And so my whole thing is to prepare for that, just in case the penis doesn't work in 10 years, 20 years. I'll still be able to milk the prostate, right? I'll still be able to have the orgasms. I'll still be able to control my mood and have all these great things, see butterflies and everything else after I bust a nut, right? So,
Mhm.
so
Not
no, I
not
haven't.
to men- not to mention lower your chances of prostate cancer too.
Absolutely, right? So,
Mhm.
in doing so, that's what I do have planned, and so I do want to share that with y'all whenever I have it and do it. But
So
I,
what are you planning to do?
I plan to get a sex toy, maybe a dilator or some shit like that.
What's
Uh,
the dilator?
it's basically like it's a phallic. It looks like a phallus of some sort. It's or I may for the next section. I know Toy Guy has a toy. We're gonna look at it, and Lauren presented that as well. But something that I can put on my finger, or I can actually hold that will vibrate, and that will get to the actual G spot, and go from there. So I will be asking gay friends uh,
What's
how
that? Not you got. I got to ask them with you because I don't know.
yeah, and that's us. That's also we were talking about, as you mentioned earlier. Not everybody gay is
Yeah,
using the sex toy. That's, but
yeah.
I just don't know. When I'm masturbating, I can feel it. I can tell that I'm coming, right? And I don't masturbate like I did when I was 17 or younger. I was just trying to tear my dick off, just going fast. I do it very comfortably and slow. You have to pay attention to pressure, texture, and speed, and all that stuff there.
Mhm.
And so,
Mhm.
it's going to be a different ball game, right? Because I am masturbating, but I'm not holding my dick. So I'm just wondering how I can do it and do it to where I'm not going to tear myself up, and I can enjoy it at the same time. So
Okay.
yes, I do plan on doing it, but I haven't done it.
Okay. Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Okay, I bet you they're pretty interested. So with me, I actually have stimulated, you know what I'm saying, like my prostate, G spot, whatever you want to say. And it started out with me actually with a sex toy. So how it came about is I actually took a training or a class on, like the anus, booty play, like all that type stuff. And I said to myself, like, how the fuck can I go into these parties and be talking about anal toys if I've never tried this shit myself? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was the first thing I did. And I'm pretty, you know what I'm saying? I'm willing to try. So I was just like, all right, I did it. So I think the first toy I ever tried it with was I had an anal probe, right? And the anal probe was like battery operated, waterproof, and it started off as like small, and then it got like larger and larger. So kind of like looked like this, you know what I'm saying? And it just got like a little bit wider, like at the base. But then at the base you could turn it,
Hmm.
and it was just a vibrator. So what I did know is that you needed the toy, you needed toy cleaner, and you also needed like a good quality lube. So I ended up doing the silicone lube. The first time I actually did it, like I almost fucking jumped out the bed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, this shit is fucking painful. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, if this is anything a woman or like a gay man go through, I don't want no fucking parts of this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then after a while, it ended up getting comfortable and the vibration,
Relax the muscles.
it
Relax.
relaxed the muscles exactly. And then like it actually got extremely pleasurable. And then also while jerking off, like I was just like, this shit is fucking euphoric. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then from
Yeah.
there, I've been chasing the high ever since. So from there, it's been anal probes. Then I went to anal bees and vibrating anal bees. And then I have prostate massages, like you name it. So anytime something new come out, like I'm willing to try it, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely like a euphoric pleasure that like I get. And I try to tell men like, yo, it's not gay. And even when I am doing it, do I be in the bed thinking I'm gay? Like, nah. But then I do get out the bed, I look in the mirror and be like, boy, you is one nasty motherfucker, yo.
Yeah.
Like I literally look in the mirror and be like, boy, you is nasty as shit. Like
Have you tried a dildo yet?
no, no, not really interested in dildos, anything like that. So, truth be told, it'll probably be something like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you guys can see
You
that.
know, yeah,
Yeah, like stuff
like a
like
butt
that,
plug.
like anal plugs, things of that nature. But yeah, not necessarily like a dildo. But but yeah, like or any type of like finger like vibe, like Greg was describing, and go from there. But yeah, like it's like I said before, like it's definitely been a pleasurable experience. And I do it with my partner, which is like my wife, you know what I'm saying, most of the time by myself, like no issues here at all.
Got it.
So
Is it Okay, go ahead, straight man.
Yeah. We'll come right back to you. So, Carl, you want to fire them up? You want to fire them up with a question? What you want to do, man? Or you want me to
Now
go?
you go first, and then I'll follow up.
Okay.
Throw me the alley.
All right. So, and anybody can answer this. So, when it comes to having stimulating the G spot versus having an orgasm, from masturbating your penis, the orgasm difference, is there an intensity? Is there a pressure? Well, there's different pressure, of course, but what feels better, or can you say that when it comes to having an orgasm from regular masturbation, I say, and then regular G spot stimulation?
Mm,
So, like if you're a singer, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you come in and you just sing it from the head. You may hit a couple notes, but you just up to doing whatever. That's what regular masturbation is.
Okay.
And then you get that vocal coach who come and say, "No, you got to sing that thing from the chest." Like when you hitting that G spot and you bust that nut, that's what that feel like.
Okay.
It come from within. Like it's just I think I love. Maybe that's what made me. I thought I was gay. I really truly love being fucked, or being fucked to the point where the dick is hitting that spot, really, I guess, to stimulate the G spot, and then I'm busting a nut from that. After that, we can finish. Get off me. I don't know who you are, but but it is about chasing that high, and it's like, okay, I'm there, but it's something about the pressure. It kind of builds up. It's just different. It's a whole different high.
yeah, I guess I would have to agree with John on that one too. It's been a while since I've had some stimulation of the G spot in my relationship, but we do have toys and things that we do play with. Some of the anal things that you just showed in that card as well, that actually feels good. So my husband knows that I am versatile and I love to be penetrated at times as well. And so again, that stimulation and is very different than just a normal. I woke up this morning, my dick hard, and I'm trying to bust a nut. And so um, the pleasure is different. Definitely, I don't love being penetrated or pounded like my friend JV there.
Don't say pounded. Don't tell all my business.
but yeah, I think it's a very different type of stimulation and pleasure zone when it does um, when you do have a prostate real true stimulation than just a regular ejaculation.
Bet that up. All right.
All right.
Come
So
with.
my question is, I'm gonna keep it.
Hold,
Oh, go ahead,
hold on,
Greg.
Carl. We're gonna circle. Because we're gonna go back and forth, and then you go last. Is that cool?
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
so
So that's my question.
yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, you good.
Either one of you can answer this as well. So at what point, or as a not even at what point, as a straight person, um, were there ever any random moments where you question your sexuality?
I'll start. No, not really. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily questioning my sexuality, but I've realized over the years, it's just other things that I'm like interested in. So for example, like, heterosexual guy, but I'm into like, like I'm a voyager. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like voyeurism. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like certain stuff like that, or like I like anal play, or with some other stuff, or like I'm into BDSM and I don't mind being a submissive, right? Most of the time in the black community, BDSM, things of that nature, a lot of guys are always gonna play the dominant role. But in my everyday life, I am dominant. You know what I'm saying? I'm dominant in business. I'm dominant in my full-time job, practically everything. So like a lot of times with me, I just want to give up the fucking reins. Not all the time, but just sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to control shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like choke me out, jump on my dick. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all for that. And I'm just open to trying like various different things like with my partner. But as far as sexuality is concerned, never questioned it. But I have just been open to various different things, which also I should say, even when it's not sex, it just heightens my like my arousal in this. You know what I'm saying? So like fetishes and kinks and all that type stuff. So that's more of something that I've gotten into over the years.
So that bouncing on your dick and those fetishes and those kinks and those BDSMs, is that with men?
Actually, no, that's with women, or I should say a woman, which is like my wife. She'd kill
Okay.
me. She'd kill me if you, oh nigga, you got multiple women? Nah, y'all trying to fuck up my almost 10-year marriage. Like, nah,
Almost got
but
you.
no, it's not with men like at all.
Yeah.
It's more so, like I said before, like with my partner, like, you know what I'm saying, like my wife. So it's more so, like I'll give you an example, like foot fetish. She wears like certain colors and stuff like that. I get off on that. Toe rings, I get off on that. I'm not ankle bracelets. What are they called? Like anklets. Like just nudity, like, you know what I mean? Like just in general, don't matter who you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can appreciate like a naked body, but keep it moving. One of the things I've also learned about myself, I think was it last year or the year before, is like I'm a nudist, like I'm saying, or a naturalist, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
So I've gone to nude beaches and stuff like that. So, so those are the things that I figured out, about myself over time.
Mm. Me and you share that in common. I'm a Voyage. I don't know where it came from, but I love public
Yeah,
affection,
nudist too.
public this.
Yeah.
I get off on watching people. I do. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like I think part of it was just because I was a stripper, like, you know what I'm saying? So, so like that probably played a factor into it. And I just also just have friends and stuff that, they're just like pretty open-minded, and it's just different things that I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't mind trying that, or I wouldn't mind, what I'm saying, going to this event or that event. But never have I ever like questioned my sexuality or anything like that. Definitely heterosexual, definitely enjoy women, or, what I'm saying, and everything that a woman like provides, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think with me it's just more so of finding those little quirks and idiosyncrasies of things that I like and be like, I didn't know I fucking like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it just happened to be what it is.
Got it.
So I've never questioned my sexuality at all. However, I've never been a person that, uh, you know, I don't hang out with somebody because they're a different person, gender, sex, sexuality, all that stuff is going on. And I have been called out. Oh, Greg's hanging out with gay folks. Greg might be gay, and that issue always had me to question. Well, what the hell is straight? Like I can't have these friends, you know, or even I can't go. I've been to gay clubs, so like I can't go to a gay club and just chill. Like that's what it. Some gay clubs are fucking fun as fuck. And so, and if you've gone to California, it's gay clubs all over the place, right? Or even Atlanta, right? So I mean, if you ain't going out and trying to have fun, man, you're probably not going to be at a gay club. And so, but when somebody gets wind of, oh, this is where he's been, they start questioning you. And in turn with that, yes, I have questions like, well, why can't I do this? You know what I mean? And so I feel like it's unfortunate that you can't be confident and well within who you are as a sexual being. And I've never had an experience with a man. Don't want one. But if somebody says that I've seen him at a gay club, then I might as well have been aligned with saying I might as well have just had, somebody might as well ran a train on me. That's how society looks at straight men that have gay friends or do want to go to gay clubs and shit like that. Like looking at a penis is nothing. Like it's a fucking penis. Like
I mean,
that.
you look at a penis watching straight porn all the time.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. So where's the final? Where do we draw the line? Like,
what's the difference? It's a big old dick right there.
No, I've actually said that to a guy one time. He uses like, yo, when I'm watching straight porn, yo, I ain't even focusing on the dick. I'm just focusing on pussy. Nigga, how can you not see the fucking dick? Like it's right there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
do you have a natural sensor black box around the penis as it's pounding? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, you know
Yeah,
what a
man.
penis looks like. It's ridiculous, man. And so with that, I've lost a lot of friends, especially a lot of friends within a group of an organization. I've lost a lot of respect for people because you allow society to define what you think is gay, straight, or anything else, and you want to project that bullshit upon me. I have a fighting spirit. You come at me with some bullshit, I'll beat your ass. Like that's who I used to be. But it's gotten to the point where I don't need to express myself to show people I'm secure within my sex and sexuality. So no, I haven't wanted to have sex with a man or been penetrated by a man or even questioned my sexuality or in sex. But I do from time to time have a challenge with social norms and how they affect me, and I've had to have some growing pains behind that.
Yeah. And also, let me just to piggyback what Greg was saying is, it's like I like to learn, right? So I don't know what it's like being in your shoes, LeBron and JV, but I don't have a problem sitting down, grabbing a drink with you at your favorite spot, and we can just chop it up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you can literally like teach me some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like to the gay community, you might as well look at me as like how a white man or like a white person is to the black community. It's just, well, I don't really know what to say. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want
Yeah.
to offend you or anything like that. But I'm more willing and open to learn. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if I say something, you'll just check me. You know what I'm saying? Yo, now we don't say that's a third. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Cause my thing is just that I'm an ally, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna, if you getting into a beef or we got some issues, whatever, I'm not gonna be like, I ain't rocking with LeBron and JV because they black men, they gay. Nah, you're a black man. And if it's an attack on you, then that's an attack on me too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Agreed.
I'm here to learn, you know what I'm saying? Like always figure out like how I can like me being a straight man, make you comfortable in whatever situations that we're in. Like, for example, at a barbershop. You see what I'm saying? Like I know certain things and certain people can say certain things and it'd be like, yo, that got me feeling uncomfortable as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if I know that that makes you feel uncomfortable and these other guys don't because they're just ignorant, I may be able to steer that conversation away from that. You know what I'm saying? Add my twist on it, whatever the case may be. So, and then just go from there.
All right.
So hopefully I answered your question.
So
Yes,
Carl,
thank you. You did. Yes.
All right.
beautiful. So Carl, fire him up and we're gonna take it out and we're gonna go from there. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
cool.
Hit him
I
with some
guess
heavy hit him with some heavy shit, fam.
man, you put a lot of pressure on me, dog. I'm just trying to speak for three like Stephen, get out of here. But I guess for me is that as you guys being two gay black men, what are some of the common misconceptions that heterosexual men have of you guys?
Good question.
Ooh. Um, the common misconception I think that most people can relate to, and I don't, I maybe can call one or two times, but I think as a collective, I think the biggest misconception is that because we are gay or we are in your vicinity or around you, or we may happen to glance and look at you, or whatever the case may be, that we want you. We're going to somehow or another make you this gay individual because we are in your vicinity. And 9 times out of 10 is not the motherfucking case. We only gonna get you if you want to get got, goddamn it. And 9 times out of 10, you ain't what we even looking for. And
Right.
so I think most of the time it's like, fuck this nigga looking at me, old gay ass nigga. I've heard that sometimes. I'm like, fuck you talking to? Because nigga ain't even say nothing to you. Like, and I have to tell people sometimes, like, I'm a nigga first. Like, so fuck this gay shit. Like, I'm a nigga first. And like you, Greg, I can back some shit up. And all this other shit can go out the window because you disrespecting me now. And so I think that's the biggest misconception collectively as a group of gay black men or even gay men, period, that they face is that we're this disease that's gonna jump out on top of you and make you succumb to being gay for whatever freaking reason. And oftentimes they're not, and you all probably notice as well, the biggest negative influences when it comes to seeing someone gay and calling it out all the time are more than likely the ones that have dealt with being some type of in relationship with men or dealing with some type of sexual relations with men.
Internal
And
hate.
that's that toxic masculinity shit that John mentioned earlier, reversing it in the environment. And I think oftentimes, even women now, they know. I had a friend, she was dating this guy. He was always like, he didn't want her hanging around me and my husband, or he didn't want to come around with her with us because we were gay. And she was like, what the fuck? Like, those are my friends. So if you can't do that, you can't be together. And that's just how she felt about it. And it was just because he was just real close-minded, as if we were just gonna make him gay. his thing was he didn't want to see two men kissing. Nigga, we're not gonna kiss it. We don't even know you like that. Like so, like it's not even that. It's just those. It's the ignorance of men that when it comes to black men, that it's just like this obtuse theory that we just gonna make you gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I dealt with that briefly. With I didn't have a coming out story or anything like that. My brother was in prison for a while when I found my husband, started life, yada yada. He got out. He disliked it very strongly because he just wasn't in the know. Like everyone in the family knew except for him. And so when he got home, he was just like, "Oh, y'all don't want that gay shit. I don't want that gay shit around me and my sons." And I'm like, "Nigga, you've been gone for 5 years. I've been taking care of your sons. So what the fuck you talking about?" Like, and they already know. They know they Uncle Brandon. They know that. Like, you the last one to find out. So I'm sorry, but it ain't just like it's just some shit that's gonna hop out on you. So I think that's the one biggest misconception that I can kind of relate to in some scenarios. And JV, I'll let you take it away to close us out.
Yeah,
Yo,
I mean,
you in the back like this. Birdman.
Yeah, I think it's similar to what Laurent said, but it's just that gay doesn't have a look. I think maybe 30 years ago, and everybody wanted to make gay look like something, and so they poked fun, they grouped all these people together, and for a long time, feminine was considered gay. But I think I'm happy in 2022 that representation on TV, or even though people hate it, representation in life, that there are a lot more standardization of what gay is, and gay looks like what straight is. It's just two people who love each other. And I think once we all start caring about what other people are doing in the bedroom, I think we can live a much happier life. But I don't think that's on gay or straight. I think that's just on people in general. But yeah, when it comes to straight men, I think they try to everything. Most of the time, they're either projecting their own issues. It's all the time. They're projecting their own issues onto someone else, and that's something that has to be done. And that's on the gay side too. We project it back on straight men and try to force you. Because we'll call you gay in a minute too if you do something that's feminine, or if you wear a dress, or if you find out that you like anal play or something like that. Then we go spread rumors and say, "Oh yeah, blah 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 blah," make up shit. So same thing, but I think it's all about just removing the look of what we think is stereotypical, of what we think gay or straight looks like.
Yeah, and I think hopefully this is a start of something where we can heterosexual men and gay men can really sit down and really start like understanding one another, because I've been in those type of situations too, where like I started a toy business, or I say like, "Oh yeah, I've had like I've used an anal toy." "Oh boy, stop playing with yourself. You want to come over here." And I'm like, nah, like what I'm saying, like no disrespect and nothing like that, like, but that's just not where I am. That's not who I am. Like all that type stuff, and it just boggles my mind sometimes, where it's just like, yo, let everybody like what they like. Again, don't yuck another person's yum. It is what it is. But we really just need to understand one another, and then not necessarily draw a line in the sand. Just be like, oh, this is such and such. This is what they like. It is what it is. Like as long as you're playing safely, you're being safe. Nothing. You're not harming anyone, and you're not harming yourself. I'm for whatever you want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like seriously, it is what it is. But to also just summarize, and then I'll be done speaking, which is, a lot of folks, like heterosexual guys be like, like this is gay, that's gay. And I always combat it with like, yo, you do know like gay men have tattoos, right? And you got tattoos, so does that make you gay? Hell no, it's in the third. Well, you do know gay men wear boxer briefs, right? Does that, what I'm saying? Does that, you wear boxer briefs, does that make you gay? So then so pinpoint to me and tell me what the fuck is gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then sometimes they shut up. Well, a lot of time they just start tripping over their words because they don't necessarily understand what they're trying to say. And I just think it's just a way of just constantly wanting to always put a person down. You know what I'm saying? So you want to label it as gay. And I just truly just have a problem with shit like that.
Yeah, I think one day we just got to draw the line between sex and sexuality. And I think that's the only line that really needs to be drawn. There's a big difference. You can do a whole lot of what we consider gay shit, but if it's done with a woman, that's not gay.
Right.
Even if she's fucking you with a dildo, like that's not gay. Like it's just not,
because she was just in the room.
Like it's not gay. Even if you're by yourself, like if you're not thinking about being pleasured by a man, it's not gay. Some men like, they like we were talking about, you mentioned BDSM. Some men like women to put on strap-ons and please them anally that way. That
Yeah.
is not gay.
Right.
That is a man and a woman having
Sex.
heterosexual kinky sex with each other. Like it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I
And
think that's where people just open their minds a little bit and put that line in between, because
Mhm.
there's a big difference, very big
Yep.
difference.
Yeah, but then you get a lot of heterosexual guys will be like, well, no straight man would ever do XYZ. Like, yo, you can't speak for all straight men. You
Yeah.
have no idea what they'll do.
And
And
keep
being
and we didn't talk about this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And being straight typically is an umbrella, especially now. There's so many ways to identify as straight. I know that probably sounds weird, but you know, s- just saying that there is an umbrella to identifying as straight allows us to explore kinky sex now. And just saying, instead of stating this is the only way you have to be straight. There is a bit of an umbrella for that. So, and now we can talk about opening ourselves up for pleasure because there is an umbrella for exploring sex as a straight man.
Yeah.
One quick thing I was going to say was, we didn't really talk much about it, is even in the gay community, you kind of put this umbrella like all gay people are just comfortable sexuality and all that good stuff. But we have a whole realm of men who we consider tops that are very equal to what a straight man is. But they don't like, anal pleasure. I'm a masculine man. I only am the person who is penetrating. I don't get penetrated. Don't touch me. All that kind of
That's right.
stuff. So it's the same concept. It's the same thing whether or not you're messing with a woman or a man. I think it's just all about mental and what you consider.
Yeah.
Again, back to the word being masculine and defining that for yourself, other than letting other people define that for you.
I agree with you.
All right. Look, we're gonna go ahead and close on out. Hit us with your tags, your IGs, your Facebooks, and we'll go ahead and call that a wrap for today.
All right. Well, I'll start it off, guys. So I'm Carl, also known as the Toy Guy. Handles on IG is PT_treasures, PT_TREASURES. And if you're on Facebook, just search for the name Toy Guy, send me a friend request, and we can pretty much go from there. But I'm an Adult Novelties owner. Got everything you're looking for as it relates to sex toys, and definitely can help you get your rocks off. Yeah.
I need to
And
get my
again,
rocks off.
I'm Ron Lewis. You can find me on Instagram at ITSYABOY_LL. Again, that's it's your boy _LL. Thank you for this, Greg.
Anytime, fam.
JV Henson here, Instagram and on TikTok. I'm saying it's your boy, that's you. Juicy J Presents. Everybody know how to spell juicy. You got to keep it juicy. So yeah, Juicy J Presents on both IG and on TikTok. So looking forward to connecting with everybody.
Cool. Let's do it.
And thank y'all for tuning in to Compassion. Stay tuned for the next episode. Love you. Holla.